I've got a hot take for you in this video. By the way, it's still freezing cold here. I love cold weather. This is bordering on very uncomfortable. Excuse my cold weather gear. So this is why this is a hot take. The question is, if you want this, stop doing this. And here's why. This is why it's a hot take. It's about social media. The way I would frame that statement is, if you want to feel more peaceful in your heart of hearts, stop arguing with trolls online, especially on Instagram, because that will absolutely steal every bit of joy you have in your life. I realized this. I was a casual scroller of Instagram. I think like all social media is designed to do, I would casually scroll longer and longer and longer every day. And especially in these times that are very fraught, a lot of stuff is political out there. I think it's hard not to run across, your own cultivated feed, like whatever you want to be listening to. It's hard to filter out all of that really heavy stuff. And for me, especially Instagram, which I define social media as like Instagram, those like micro posting things, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I'm really speaking about those things where you can fire off a post like in 3 seconds and go to war with people in the comments, which I don't really do on YouTube at all, although I suppose you could, but I don't know. I think it's harder. I would scroll on Instagram and I was getting into this habit where I would just find myself scrolling longer and longer and longer, like getting really sucked into the rabbit hole of that day, whatever was going on. And I would realize after putting it down in like a fit of annoyance, or I'd had a interaction with, someone in the comments or something that made me feel bad, or I felt guilty because I said something to someone in the comments that was, rude for me, or rude in general. I felt like a lot of times I felt guilty because my own behavior felt gross, like I'd put the phone down and I'd be like, who was that? That I started making the connection that Instagram, as much as I love, like, it's 90% dogs and 10%, some political stuff and news, I would say. I just realized that no matter how many dogs I looked at, like, the other stuff was just really bringing me down. And then it got to be like I would read the comments of the dog posts and people were harping on these cute little dogs and their owners. And it was just, in a moment of like true realization, I realized that was not the format for me to find joy. Where something used to be so lighthearted and fun to scroll through and see what people were doing, consistently, I was walking away feeling really bad about myself, about what others were saying. It was a lot. It felt like a lot. And so I instituted a rule whereby I was not allowed to scroll on Instagram before bed. All social media of all apps and things that I can do on my phone, as long as I put Instagram down, I slept better. I used to have really horrendous, stressful dreams. Those stopped. I would wake up feeling rested. And I realized how much Instagram, especially before bed, was causing strife. For me, personally, it was stressing me out. And so when I put it down, I couldn't believe how fast things turned around. My sleep got better as soon as I started treating Instagram as that, which was causing me kind of that obsessive thoughts about things and just angst and annoyance and anger. And I very carefully monitored my own use of it. Life got so much better. And it curbed, once I was able to get a hold of it, I don't feel any interest in going on there anymore. So there is obviously, I know there's a lot of science to prove this, but there's obviously a dopamine thing that happens in your brain. It's so obvious because when you get used to not doing that, you don't want it. that's my story. And I know so many people use social media as jobs now and everything like that. And to them, I say, I'm sorry. Give me another format for your ideas. I will subscribe. Like, put it on YouTube, put it on Substack. Those I don't feel compelled in the same way to like pick fights in the comments, or not even pick them. I never picked a fight, but I would enter into other people's fights and find myself embroiled. I started getting this one time scared me a little bit because I started getting these DMs from this person I didn't know who they were, and apparently I left a comment somewhere. I didn't even remember doing that. Not worth it. Not worth it. So if you want peace and joy in your life, put Instagram down. Pick up a book, call a friend, send a text message, stretch, whatever. Put the social media down. And especially before bedtime. Really rein it in. I tell you, your joy is going to increase 100-fold. And it seems crazy and impossible until you do it, and it's neither of those things. It is the greatest realization I made, like, really within the past 12 months. It really improved my general outlook on life, honestly. So try it. I won't see you on Instagram.